So what do we need to do differently to ensure that that doesn't happen to our kids in school? Well, to answer this question, I interviewed a wide variety of young people in their 20s, some of whom were from privilege, some of whom were from poverty, but all of them were creative problem solvers in different domains. Some were in STEM fields, some were in the arts, some were social entrepreneurs interested in solving social problems. And while those initial interviews were with kids in the US, a number of them had backgrounds from other cultures, and I've increasingly done similar interviews with young people all over the world. And I found very similar patterns wherever I've done these kinds of conversations. I wanted to try to understand what had made a difference in the lives of these kids. Why were they such creative problem solvers? So I interviewed all of their parents to see if I could discern patterns of parenting. And indeed I did, which I'll talk about in a moment. But of course I asked them about their education, asking them, what impact it had had. And that led to my first very troubling and surprising discovery. You see, some of these kids had gone to America's most elite universities, specifically Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Carnegie Mellon. But all of them told me they had become innovators in spite of attending these prestigious schools, not because of it. But I pressed. I said, surely you can tell me something about your education that's made a real difference. And indeed, all of them could. They could all name at least one teacher who'd made a real difference in their lives. And the grade ranges of those teachers was first grade to graduate school. So I went and interviewed all of those teachers. I saw some of them teach. And that led to my second very troubling discovery. You see, all of those teachers were outliers in their institutional settings, teaching in ways that were fundamentally different than their peers, yet remarkably similar to one another, I discovered. Then I spent time really learning and immersing myself in those few schools that really do teach creative problem solving and have a reputation for it. Didn't take me long because there aren't very many. But in the US, I went to the MIT Media Lab. I went to the Olin College of Engineering in Needham, Massachusetts. I went to the D School at Stanford. I went to High Tech High. I went to New Tech High. I went to expeditionary learning schools. I went to Reggio Emilia classrooms and Montessori classrooms, the Bing Nursery School on the campus of Stanford, and again saw a remarkable pattern of similarities in learning and teaching, similarities that were completely consistent with how all of my outlier teachers were also teaching. So I've come to understand that there are, in fact, a set of very fundamental contradictions between the traditional culture of schooling, as we've practiced it for more than a century, versus the new culture of learning to be a creative problem solver.